recipe. Now here I've taken 1 cup of rice. I'm going to add this to a bowl and I'm going to wash the rice thrice under running water really well. So squeeze the rice out in the water. First you'll get a very murky water, and with every wash the water gets clearer. So wash the rice thrice. Now once we're done with the rice, I'm going to do the same thing with half a cup of chana dal. Just add that to the bowl, wash it thrice. And now I'm going to soak the rice as well as the chana dal. The rice I'm going to soak in 3 cups of water and the chana dal in 2 cups of water for about 8 hours. This is very important. You can even soak it overnight, but 8 hours should be sufficient. Now after 8 hours, you're going to drain out all the water from the dal and the rice, and you're going to add this to a pressure pan. Now I'm going to add about 4 cups of water to the pressure pan, and we're going to pressure cook this for 1 whistle on high and then simmer it or cook it on a very low flame for 10 minutes, and then put off the gas and let the cooker cool completely. Now after the pressure cooker cools down, you can open it and you can see that the dal and the rice is nicely cooked. So now I can show you all the other ingredients. There are very few other ingredients required for this Godshe. Now here I have 1 cup of coconut milk, 1 cup of jaggery, you can use the Goa jaggery, 1 teaspoon of cardamom, and these are 2 turmeric leaves, which is optional, and just a pinch of salt. Now I'm going to cook this in my pressure pan because it is a heavy bottom pan. Now I haven't turned the flame on of the gas yet, but I'm going to mash the dal and the rice a bit, and I'm going to add the coconut milk and again mash it up just a little. Not completely, it shouldn't become into like a porridge, but just a little bit mash up the rice and the dal. Now we haven't turned on the gas or the flame or the heat yet. So mash up everything a little bit, and now we're going to turn on the heat. Now we're going to add the other ingredients, that is the jaggery. Next I'm going to add the elaichi powder or the cardamom powder. I've just used 1 teaspoon, or you can use 4 cloves, and a pinch of salt. Now I'm going to keep my flame from low to medium, and I'm going to mix all the ingredients really well together. Now this Godshe is a delicious anytime snack, goes well with a cup of tea or even a sweet after a meal. Now after cooking this for about 5 minutes, stirring in between, you will see that the jaggery has all melted and you get a lovely dark color. Now if you're using Goa jaggery, you'll get a beautiful dark brown color. Now I'm going to add the turmeric leaves, which is completely optional, but I have a small little plant in my kitchen window with my turmeric leaves, so I'm adding it for that lovely flavor. And after cooking this for another 5 minutes on a low to medium flame, it starts to thicken. So keep stirring in between and you will see that it thickens up really quickly and it will start leaving the sides of the pan. Now in the meantime, I'm just going to grease a tray, or you can even use the back of a steel plate, a large steel plate. So I'm just greasing this pan that I have, and now you can see that everything has come together and it has really thickened. So this took me a total of 20 minutes. Now I'm going to transfer this to my greased tray, which is actually a pie tray with a removable base, but you can use any steel thali or even a cake pan. And now I'm going to just even it out or flatten the top. So I'm just using the back of a vati. You can even use a small glass, heavy glass, just to press it down. And now we're going to let it completely cool for 2 hours. I have refrigerated it for 2 hours. And after 2 hours, you'll see that the whole thing comes together very well. And now we're just going to demold it. And they're going to cut it up into whatever desired shape. You can cut it up into triangles, into squares. But I like this lovely triangular kind of a pie shape. And you can see that everything has really come together really well. So I hope you'll give this recipe a try and let me know in the comments section how you like it. I will catch you in my next video. This is Akshata signing off. Bye. So here I have 100 grams of broken wheat called dalia or lapshi rava. It's easily available in general stores and is very reasonable too. Now here I have half a cup of guar jaggery, also called palm jaggery or made god. I've just grated it using a cheese grater. Now I'm also going to be using half a cup of sugarcane jaggery or the general, yellow jaggery that you get in stores. This is 1 cup of thick coconut milk, about 3/4 of a teaspoon of cardamom or elaichi powder. I've just used 3 cardamoms and ground them to a fine powder after peeling it. And 1/4 cup of chopped nuts. That is, I've used cashew nuts and almonds. And we're going to use about 3 or 4 teaspoons of ghee or clarified butter. So let's start with today's lovely recipe. Now I'm going to first heat a pan and I'm going to add this dalia or broken wheat, and we're going to dry roast this for at least 5 whole minutes on a low to medium flame, stirring continuously. So don't leave it unattended, but just stir it continuously. This is very important, so don't skip this step. We need to roast this dalia really well. Now you'll see after 5 to 10 minutes it will change, after 5 minutes rather, it will change into a little darker brown color. Now I'm going to add the thick coconut milk and we're going to stir the two really well together. Now this coconut milk is going to cook the dalia. It's very similar like when you're making something with rava. You add the milk and you let it cook. Now we're going to add the lovely flavor of the guar jaggery and also the sugarcane jaggery. So now we're going to mix this well till the jaggery nicely melts and mixes up with the rest of the mixture. That's very important. And you will see that as it starts cooking, you will get this lovely dark brown color. As the guar jaggery starts cooking with the rest of the ingredients, you'll get a lovely dark color to this doce bhaji or lapshi. Now we're going to add the cardamom powder or the elaichi powder. So I've just peeled 3 cardamoms and then ground it in my mortar and pestle to a very fine powder, or you can use ready-made elaichi powder. Now I'm just going to add a few drops of ghee, say about 3 or 4 teaspoons of clarified butter or ghee. This will enhance the flavor of the dish as well as give it a lovely texture. And now I'm just going to stir the mixture on a low to medium heat, stirring continuously for about 5 to 7 minutes. And you will see that the consistency of this mixture will turn, it will change, it will start thickening, and then you'll get this ghee on the edges. Just scrape it off and, get it to the center like I'm doing when I'm stirring, like that. And just keep stirring continuously. Don't leave it unattended. You can control the heat by making it from low to medium to high, and then after some time, after 5 to 7 minutes, you'll see that the whole thing has come together like this. And those bhaji is ready. You can put the flame off, and now I'm just brushing a plate. You can also use a mold or a bowl, and I'm just going to transfer this into that bowl, and you can see how thick the mixture has become. And now with the spatula, I'm just going to flatten the top using any flat, you can use a vodee also or a spatula like this. And now all we have to do is just garnish it with some chopped nuts, Now I've used cashew nuts and almonds, but you can use any dry fruits or nuts of your choice. I've just chopped them up roughly, and I'm just going to garnish it with the chopped nuts. And then we have to refrigerate this for at least 2 to 3 hours till it sets nicely, because then we're going to cut it up into whatever desired shape and serve it. So this is really delicious, and it's also very healthy. So I'm going to put it into my refrigerator to set for about 2 to 3 hours, or even longer. You can even keep it overnight. And you will see after 2 to 3 hours, it nicely thickens and sets really well. And now we're just going to cut it up. So I'm cutting it up just into fours. You can even cut it up into squares. If you're putting it into a square mold, the choice is yours. And you can see that it's nice and all ready to eat. So give this recipe a try, guys. So we're going to do the frosting for this Bolo Sans Rival. Now here I've taken 1 cup of sugar. To that I'm going to add 1/4 cup of water. Now I'm going to start the flame, and I'm not going to stir this. I'm just going to let it come to a gentle boil on its own. It takes about half a minute or so. And then I'm just going to swirl the pan and then stir in between for about 2 to 3 minutes. Now we're going to do a water test. I've just taken a bowl of water and I've added a teaspoon of this sugar mixture. Now if you're able to form a ball like this, that means your sugar syrup is ready. You can turn off the heat. Now I'm going to beat 6 egg yolks till they are very light yellow in color for about a minute. Then I'm going to start adding this hot sugar syrup, and we're going to keep whisking it. Now the mixture will turn to a very light yellow. Now I'm going to start adding the butter, about 1.5 cup of butter, but a little at a time. Now keep your butter at room temperature. It makes the process easier. And then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. I just changed the pan because it was very small. And our frosting is ready. It has to be nice and thick. Now we're going to move on to the meringue. For that, I've taken 6 egg yolks and I'm going to beat them for about 2 to 3 minutes till they become nice and foamy. Then I'm going to start adding my powdered sugar. In total, I'm using about 2 cups of powdered sugar, a little at a time. Now you've got to whisk this really well till we get a nice thick mixture. So this took me exactly 3 minutes, whisking the sugar and the butter together to get a nice thick mixture. Now you'll see that the mixture has thickened like this. So now I'm going to add 1.5 cup of cashew nut powder. You can also use almond powder. All I've done is just taken the cashew nuts and just blended them in my mixer on a blitz function to get a very fine powder. Now we're just going to mix all of this together. Now here I've taken a baking sheet and I've just lined my baking tray with it, and I've just drawn 4 circles of 5 inches each. Now using a piping bag, I'm just filling this meringue into the circles. Now you can also just roughly eyeball it. If you don't want to use a piping bag, just go with a spoon and just fill the circles like this. Now preheat your oven to 160 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes and then bake this at 160 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes till your meringues are nice and done, and you'll get these kind of meringues. And they're just very light and airy like this. And now we're going to assemble our lovely Bolo Sans Rival. Now first I'm taking the meringue, I'm placing it on the base of the plate on the plate. I'm going to then put in the frosting. Now you could add some finely chopped cashew nuts also, and then I'm just going to repeat the process like this with all the 4 meringues. Now I have my cake stand, below the plate, so that makes it a little bit easier. And then just apply some of the frosting at the sides and just even it out. And then I'm just going to decorate it with some cashew nuts. You can also use cherries, which is the traditional way of decorating it. And then I just have these almond slivers or just shaved almonds. I'm just going to add that just to make it look nice and pretty. And you have to refrigerate this. It is a cold dessert. And, when you slice it up, you will just see the lovely layers, and it's really, really delicious. I hope you give this recipe a try. So let's see today's delicious Goan sweet of Goan Mandos. Super simple, guys. So now here I've taken 1 cup of rice. I'm adding it to a bowl. And now we got to wash this rice really well, thrice under water. Now I'm just showing it to you, over here. So just squeeze the rice. First you'll get a very murky kind of water like this. So just discard that. And then as you wash it, thrice, you'll get a much clearer, water. You can use any rice. And now after I kept the water, I'm going to add 3 cups of water, and I'm going to keep it aside for at least 8 hours. Now after 8 hours, we're going to drain out all the water from the rice. Now we're also going to be requiring 1 cup of freshly grated coconut. Now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar and a pinch of salt. I'm going to add these ingredients to my mixer pot or mixer jar. And we're going to grind this using a little bit of water to make a nice fine paste or batter. Now I'm adding the sugar because I'm using organic jaggery. If you get your hands on Goa jaggery, there's nothing like it, then you can skip the sugar. But I'm using organic jaggery, which is not very, very sweet, so I'm adding a little bit of sugar. So if you're using the Goa jaggery, you don't need to add the sugar. Now I'm just going to add a little water at a time. So I've totally used about half a cup of water. And we're going to grind this to a very, very smooth batter. So our batter will look like this. So I'm just going to transfer this to a bowl. And then we have a few more ingredients which we need to add. So this is our batter. So now to this batter, just give it a small mix or a whisk. Now first I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of cardamom powder or elaichi powder. I've just taken about 4 small elaichis and pounded them in my mortar and pestle and whisked it well into the batter. Now I'm using 1 cup of organic jaggery because it's nice and dark and also good in taste, but it's not very sweet. That's why I added the sugar. Like I said, if you're using Goa jaggery, then you can skip the sugar. Now first mix it in well. Now we want all of the jaggery to dissolve really, really well. So I'm going to get my hands in and I'm just going to, dissolve all the jaggery. And then you get this dark batter. If you're using the Goa jaggery, you'll get an even darker color. Now I'm just going to add about 1/4 cup of broken cashew nuts. Now prepare your steamer at this time and put in enough water because we're going to steam this mandos for 45 minutes. So I've taken my cake tin and I've just greased it with a little bit of clarified butter or ghee. Pour in the batter. And now I'm going to steam it for exactly 45 minutes. So see that you have a lot of water in the steamer. Keep checking. Your steamer shouldn't dry up. And after 45 minutes, your mandos is all ready. Just take it out of the steamer and set it aside to cool completely before we demold it. Let it cool for an hour at least. And after an hour, just run your knife through the edges like this. Put a plate on top of it, overturn it, just tap it down a bit. You can feel the mandos, slipping down easily. And see, the cake tin is also nice and clean, and it's all ready. So now you can just cut it up into any desired shape. Generally they cut it up into long rectangles like this, which I'll show you. So use a very sharp knife and just slide it down like this and like this, and then you can just shape it up. And that's it, guys. Your lovely Goan sweet is all ready to enjoy. So I hope you like this recipe. See you in my next video. Bye.